Is the White House a glass house? The president blasts Al Franken's sexual misconduct. But what about his own past?
Senator Franken has admitted wrongdoing and the president hasn't.
Jesse Jackson reveals the health battle he's facing. And Steve Hartman.
Hit pay dirt, literally.
With a history-making show and tell.
I found 3 pencils and erasers stuck to Play-Doh.
Wow.
No, I seriously did.
This is the CBS Evening News.
Good evening, I'm Anthony Mason. President Trump has tiptoed around Republican Senate candidate Roy Moore, but today he dove tweet first into the Al Franken sexual assault case, attacking the Democratic senator from Minnesota on Twitter. That had reporters asking whether sexual misconduct allegations against Mr. Trump should be investigated as well. His spokeswoman responded, Senator Franken has admitted wrongdoing. The president hasn't. That's where we begin tonight with Chief White House Correspondent Major Garrett.
Mr. President, do you believe Roy Moore's accusers?
President Trump has repeatedly declined to answer questions about Alabama Senate candidate Roy Moore. But on Twitter, he was full of outrage over allegations of sexual harassment by Democratic Senator Al Franken. The Al Frankenstein picture is really bad, the president wrote, referring to this 2006 photograph. It shows Franken appearing to grope Leanne Tweeden on a military airplane during a USO tour. Franken has apologized, but the president wondered, where do his hands go in pictures 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 while she sleeps? During the campaign, the release of the Access Hollywood videotape made clear where Mr. Trump thought his hands could go.
And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the you can do anything.
More than a dozen women have accused Mr. Trump of unwanted sexual advances. In the heat of the campaign, Summer Zervos, a former contestant on The Apprentice, leveled this charge.
He put me in an embrace, and I tried to push him away.
The Trump campaign response was a blanket denial and an effort to deflect the controversy by bringing up accusations of sexual misconduct by former President Bill Clinton. Sitting with candidate Trump, Juanita Broderick spoke to the press ahead of the second presidential debate.
But Bill Clinton raped me, and Hillary Clinton threatened me. I don't think there's any comparison.
The national debate over sexual misconduct has led to a reassessment of Mr. Clinton's behavior. An investigation of sexual harassment claims eventually led to his impeachment when he lied under oath about his affair with White House intern Monica Lewinsky.
I misled people, including even my wife. I deeply regret that.
One prominent Senate Democrat, Kirsten Gillibrand of New York, was asked if in today's context Mr. Clinton should have stepped down.
Yes, I think that is the appropriate response, but I think things have changed today, and I think under those circumstances there should be a very different reaction.
Back to this White House, Press Secretary Sarah Sanders said today the president has addressed the Moore allegations. He has not. The official White House position is they are, quote, extremely troubling, but it's up to the voters of Alabama to decide if Moore, the Republican nominee, is fit for office. Anthony?
Major Garrett at the White House. Today, the Moore campaign brought out a group of female supporters, including the candidate's wife. The story continues now with Dean Reynolds in Birmingham.
One woman after another trooped to the microphone today to sing the praises of Roy Moore. They included his wife, Kayla.
He will not step down.
Moore's campaign this week has been a bullhorn tribute to his character.
To the people of Alabama, thank you for being smarter than they think you are.
They are Moore's critics who accept the allegations by several women that his behavior toward them ranged from unwanted advances to assault, and that he is unfit for office as a result. Moore has threatened to sue his accusers for defamation, but a federal prosecutor here says pursuing the women in court is, quote, patently absurd, unquote. Polls say Moore's support is slipping, but his Bible reading base is fired up, an important factor in a special election on a Tuesday in December.
I would contend that his followers are more religious than they are Christian.
Steve Flowers is an Alabama political columnist.
Moore's people will not stay home. That 75 to 80-year-old guy who lives in the evangelical church, He's got December 12th circled on his calendar. And Dean, that's not an opportune day for an election for a soccer mom.
But Alabama's evangelicals may not be in step with their brethren in the rest of the country. Ed Stetzer chairs the Billy Graham Center at Wheaton College.
The credibility of evangelicals is being harmed by the perception that evangelicals don't care about the victims, but instead just care about political power. I care about the victims. I think Jesus does too.
And speaking of political power, Alabama's Governor Kay Ivey reiterated today that she intends to set aside her misgivings and vote for Roy Moore next month, Anthony, to help the Republicans ensure their control of the U.S. Senate in Washington.
Dean Reynolds in Birmingham tonight. Thanks, Dean. We have an update now on Jeff Begay's reporting from last night. The Senate Judiciary Committee has asked the president's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, for documents regarding a backdoor Russian overture and a dinner invitation during the 2016 campaign. Jeff has learned this came from two Russian nationals who wanted to meet with Mr. Trump. Sources say Kushner declined the invitation, but failed to disclose that fact to the committee. One day after House Republicans passed a tax overhaul, the Senate version cleared committee today on a straight party line vote. This followed 25 hours of debate that got heated at the end. Here's Chief Congressional Correspondent Nancy Cordes.
This bull crap that you guys throw out here really gets old after a while. To do it right at the end of this.
Tension had been building in the Senate Finance Committee for 4 days.
When Republicans are in power, the first thing they want to do is give tax cuts to the rich. That's just it's in their DNA.
I really resent anybody saying that I'm just doing this for the rich. Give me a break.
At 9:40 last night, Committee Chairman Orrin Hatch and Ohio Democrat Sherrod Brown decided to have it out.
With all due respect, I get sick and tired of the richest people
Regular order,
in this country
Mr. Chairman.
getting richer and
Regular order.
richer.
Listen, I've honored you by allowing you to spout off here. And what you said was not right. That's all I'm saying. I come from the lower middle class originally. We didn't have anything. So don't spew that stuff on me.
At the heart of the debate was new analysis by the Joint Committee on Taxation, a bipartisan congressional operation. It says the Republican Senate plan would initially lead to tax cuts at all income levels, but low-income Americans would start seeing their taxes go up in 2021. And by 2027, all individuals making $75,000 or less would pay more than under current law, partly because many of the plan's tax breaks are temporary. Kevin Hassett is the president's chief economist.
Of course, the hope for everybody is that when the time comes for these things to expire, that they get extended.
But there is no guarantee, and Democrats argue that businesses and the wealthy reap permanent benefits from this tax plan. Republicans believe they can pass the bill without Democratic support, so there is little incentive, Anthony, to compromise.
Nancy Cordes with the tax battle at the Capitol. Thanks. The Reverend Jesse Jackson revealed today that he is being treated for Parkinson's disease. The civil rights leader and two-time presidential candidate said he was diagnosed with the neurological disorder 2 years ago. Jackson is 76. In a written statement, he said Parkinson's is not a stop sign, but rather a signal that I must make lifestyle changes and dedicate myself to physical therapy. Ohio State University may be a bit quieter, even though it's a football weekend. Nearly a third of the school's fraternities are under investigation for misconduct. So the administration decided to suspend all of them. Errol Barnett reports from Columbus.
Students living on Ohio State University's frat row don't seem fazed by the suspensions of 37 fraternities. Will Towers, whose frat is under investigation, denies any wrongdoing.
We didn't kill anybody. We're not hazing anybody. We're just trying to have fun.
Ohio State suspended activities after it opened a number of investigations involving hazing and alcohol. The school describes the decision as proactive, saying in a statement it will not tolerate behavior that puts the health and safety of students at risk. The move makes it the fifth campus this month to restrict Greek organizations. Texas State and Florida State universities did so only after a student died. And this week, officials announced new charges in the Penn State hazing death of Timothy Piazza.
I do commend Ohio State for doing this, certainly as a preemptive measure, given what's happened.
David Berkman, a former fraternity member who wrote and directed a fictional movie about hazing, says Ohio State is trying to prevent incidents.
I think that the university needs to do a lot more than just a social ban. I think this is a systemic problem.
Why does there have to be any deaths?
Ohio State senior Madeline Toohey, whose brother is in a fraternity elsewhere, feels the suspension is a necessity.
That message has to come from the university down, or else kids won't take things seriously.
Errol Barnett, CBS News, Columbus, Ohio.
Baltimore police detective Sean Suiter is being remembered as a great cop, known for his smarts and his smile. He was an Army veteran, a husband, and father of 5. His brothers and sisters in blue tonight are searching for his killer. Chris Van Cleve is there.
We're always one tip away. We're one moment away from breaking this case wide open.
With a police helicopter circling, investigators continued to search homes in Baltimore's Harlem Park neighborhood, more than 48 hours after Detective Sean Suiter was shot in the head in broad daylight while investigating a homicide. Police Commissioner Kevin Davis.
The murder of a cop always has been and always will be something that's absolutely unacceptable in this free society.
Police have not identified a suspect, but believe he's still in Baltimore and may be injured. Detective Suiter's gun was fired multiple times. Police say they are looking into all possibilities, including that it was used to kill the 18-year Baltimore police veteran and father of 5. Mayor Catherine Pugh.
Violence in the city is out of control.
The streets here that aren't blocked by police cruisers and crime tape are largely quiet, and residents are largely unwilling to talk. Daryl Shelton grew up here.
Well, it's not just the neighborhood, but the whole city. And it's just saying that there's just too many guns on the street. And people are just indiscriminately using them whenever and wherever they want to.
We are still seeing heavily armed police searching this neighborhood as the reward in this case has climbed to nearly $200,000. 2017 is the 3rd year in a row Baltimore has passed 300 homicides. Anthony?
Chris Van Cleve. Thanks, Chris. Near Philadelphia last night, a 5-alarm fire destroyed a nursing home. 160 people were inside. Many had to be rescued. Some are still not accounted for. At least 17 are in the hospital. The Red Cross is helping evacuees find shelter. Investigators are waiting for the smoldering ruins to cool before they can search for the cause. It's a new beginning in Washington, the opening today of a museum dedicated to the world's most read book, the Bible. And it is vast, more than 3,000 ancient biblical artifacts. The museum was largely financed by the Green family, the conservative Christian owners of Hobby Lobby. They say the purpose is to educate, not evangelize. NASA scientists are learning plenty about climate change from satellites that observe our planet. Time-lapse images show the Earth breathing over the past 20 years, and they track shifts in undersea life. On land, polar ice caps ebb and flow with the seasons, with spring coming earlier and autumn lasting longer as the Earth warms. Trucking becomes electric. Tesla last night rolled out an electric tractor trailer. It can haul 80,000 pounds, run 500 miles on a single charge, and has an autopilot system. CEO Elon Musk hasn't said what the bullet-shaped big rig costs, but Walmart is among the first buyers. The trucks go into production in 2019. Danica Patrick's racing career is coming to the end of the road. The pioneering driver tearfully announced her retirement today. She'll race in the Daytona 500 in February, the Indy 500 in May, then hit the brakes on racing full-time. Patrick is 35. In 2008, she became the only woman to win an IndyCar Series race. Steve Hartman is next with kids looking deep into the past.
Tonight's On the Road segment is sponsored by Aleve. All day strong, all day long.
CBS Evening News. I'm Anthony Mason in New York. Thanks for watching this week. I'll see you first thing tomorrow on CBS This Morning, Saturday. Good night.